Good afternoon. Can you start by spelling your first and last name and what you do here at the church or what you do for your occupation?
Sure. My name is Cole Wise. That's Colewise. I work at a family business in Luverne, about an hour south of here. We're a wholesale distributor of hunting and fishing products.
All right.
I've been at St. John's now since 2012, so a little over 10 years, and been on various boards and other things throughout the years, but we've always loved St. John's. The first time we came here, it felt like home, and have been here ever since. So stewardship is just basically the way for the parishioners to give back to the church and back to the Lord, for Him to do His works through the church. I got asked to be on this board, and I'd done some canvassing in the past where we reach out to parishioners and whatnot, but I didn't really ever think too deeply into it until I got on this board and really gave it some thought and worked on, thinking about this interview and preparing and whatnot. And, there's a lot that I've taken away from it in thinking about that. And, the why I give back to the church and why my family prioritizes that. And like I said, St. John's is really the foundation of our spiritual life. Just on a week-to-week basis, I feel like if we get in here on Sunday morning and go through church, it kind of sets the stage for the rest of the week. It just kind of resets us, and it's the foundation for our spiritual life.
Okay.
So I think you look at some of the things that St. John's does, the outreach, the service within the community, the missions. There's a lot of great things that this church does that helps people both locally and throughout the world. And, with three young kids and everything we have going on right now, we may not necessarily have the time to devote to doing that kind of work that, we would love to do. But, giving money to the church through the StewardShip campaign, it's a good way to, make an impact without, being able to do it yourself.
Got you. So in the word it says what you sow you will reap in return.
Right.
So do you feel like when it comes to stewardship that the more you give, the better things come back to you, or is it more of a whatever I can give, I'm just going to be happy with whatever I get back, or if I even get anything back?
Yeah, and that was another thing I thought about is, kind of the what's in it for me, but, there's just so much good that's come out of this church over the 10 or 11 years that we've been here. I feel like everything that I've put into it or given it to it has been rewarded. And I wrote about it in my little stewardship letter, but I can remember when Emily and I were first coming to church here, we got married, we decided, okay, we're members here, it's time that we pledge.
Mm-hmm.
I can remember getting that pledge card and really not knowing how much to give, what was appropriate, what people may think, but, now in retrospect, all that's confidential, and it's really up to the individual or the family what they can afford to do. And, I'm sure everybody wishes they could do more and give more, but you've got to live within your means and make a decision on what you feel like is right. And there is no wrong answer for that. St. John's it needs its members to support the church, and it just needs people to pledge. I think for me, it's probably been this year and being a part of this stewardship team. I feel like so many different things that you get invested in within the church, different, boards, small groups, whatever it may be. The more you put yourself out there and invest in it, put the time in it, and think about it, the more you really get out of it. And for this stewardship campaign, I've given it more thought in the past month than I probably have the rest of the time that I've made any pledges anywhere. Mm-hmm. And for me, that period of time of reflection and thinking about it and why and all that it's probably been the most rewarding experience of pledging to me. But I think you could say that about people who've served on vestry. They probably feel like they've really learned more about the church and become more ingrained in the church or any other board or small group, whatever it is. And again, this goes back to the basic principle of stewardship. You know, the more you put into it and give to it, the more you're going to receive back out of it. Well, I'd like to go back to the point where Emily and I were doing our first pledge here. And it was our first pledge anywhere. It was, you know, really new to us, and we were newly married and just starting out in jobs, and it wasn't like we had a lot of money to give, and we were on a budget. And I think kind of the stigma around like the 10%, you said, that number that gets thrown around, and just the thought that maybe what we could afford to give might not be sufficient, or people may think, oh, look, he's only giving, you know, 1% of his income, you know, things like that you don't need to worry about. Nobody sees that. And the fact of the matter is St. John's just needs pledging members and families. And like I said before, just give within your means, give what you can. You know, St. John's isn't trying to, you know, go out there and make you pay 25% of your income or anything like that. They just want members who will pledge and be part of the stewardship campaign.
Got you. And wrapping up, is there any closing thoughts or ideas or anything that you want to give out to really cap off what stewardship is and how important it is at all?
I guess in closing, this is how I wrapped up my letter too, but you know, over the 11 years that we've been pledging here, we've, like I said, started out pretty humbly and have kind of just grown accustomed to it and gotten comfortable to the practice. And over the years, I've continued to feel my own personal spiritual growth through St. John's. And, you know, I feel like what money we have pledged over the years has been rewarded many times over. So, you know, I'd just like to encourage all the parishioners to, like I said, pledge and do what you can.
All right. And is there anything else you want to say?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time.
All right. Thank you.